Qualifying 1 was alright, and I found out that pole position was not quite secured for me, but that was all down to Sector 1, and the setup focused on the wet weather for the race. 0.1434 seconds behind Max in first place with Sector 2 and Sector 3 purple, and Max taking Sector 1 purple. After the session, this dropped to 4th place, still 0.134 seconds behind Max, after we did not go out again. Qualifying 2 was much better, and I was first place, 0.389 seconds ahead of Ricardo in second place. This time, only having Sector 2 purple and Sector 3 went slightly to Norris, and Sector 1, I believe, went to Max, who was in the drop zone. After the session, the Red Bulls improved, and I was third, 0.259 seconds behind Max in first place. Qualifying 3 was a bit squeaky as I completed lap 1, but made a mistake in turn 1 and placed 4th with 2.5 minute damage fix, with 5.5 minutes to go. I led my final lap and improved massively and got pole, 0.771 seconds ahead of Max in second place, after he did not improve. I just realised I didn't put the gap after my first lap. How rude.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today, here at the oldest circuit on the calendar, which hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around the Curva Michele Alboreto. That's the Parabolica to you and me, the last and most demanding of this track's 11 corners. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. The engineer lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Russell, Charles Leclerc and Magnussen, Perez, Vettel, Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo, Ocon, Schwartzman, Valtteri Bottas and Gasly, Albon, Joe, Carlos Sainz and Yuki Tsunoda. Mick Schumacher and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about the engineer. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
They realised they were talking about me, right? 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Max Verstappen looks to get a good start on Winter in first place as they head towards turn 1. Max losing out in the second phase of the accelerating and towards turn 1. Winter has a clean run in P1. Max Verstappen looks to go side by side with Lando Norris as George Russell fight with Kevin Magnussen for P4 and P5. Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc P6 and 7 as Max Verstappen tries to go around the outside of Winter in turn 1 into turn. Sorry, I've made a mistake. As Max Verstappen takes the lead through turn 3, as he has mole grip round the outside of the corner, and Winter can do nothing to prevent the Mad Max from taking P1 as Lando Norris tries to take P2 as well, leaving as Williams will be weak in the third after an overtake. As Winter now chases towards Max after Max get an amazing run through turn 3 to get the position. The AI Winter being weaker through turn 3 and sector 1 in general this weekend after a supposedly more predominantly wet heavy setup. As Charles Leclerc takes P6 ahead of his Ferrari teammate Sebastian Vettel. As we continue on, Max Verstappen keeps the lead and a quite comfortable margin towards the Williams driver in second places. Kevin Magnussen holds strong in P4 as we head on to lap 5. If DRS was enabled, I'm sure Winter would probably already be in the lead, back past Max, but Max quite comfortable. Does lose a lot of time through sector 2, however, and but gains it all back through turn 3 in sector 1. As we head to Curva Alboreto or Parabolica, follow Max Verstappen, championship leader. At the moment, he goes for a spin. He's 360s it. Is he going to hit Winter? No, he doesn't. Is he going to hit Lando? Almost does. He caught the yellow flag. He's back underway, and with the great gap Magnussen has been creating, Max Verstappen only drops down to P3, and lap 10, Max Verstappen gets past Lando as Kevin Magnussen is dropping down the field now and allows Charles Leclerc into P4 with his Ferrari. And Max Verstappen has closed in completely on the Williams driver now, under half a second as they head towards turn 1 on lap 19, braking into turn 1. Max Verstappen seems to back out just a little bit as through the first 2 apexes, Winter hits both of them and maintains the lead for now. As we head through turn 3, Max has always been stronger than Winter through this corner. Is he going to be able to take a run into turn 4? He looks to go to the outside. Is Winter going to be able to fend him off? Yes, he does. He takes the proper racing line and does not force Max off the circuit and does not make contact with Max to cause a spin. Slight defense there from Williams does allow for a great prevention of Max's overtake, and Max will have to wait at least a lap to try and get him again. As we head on to lap 20, a gap under 6/10. Max is going to have another go. Which way he going to go this time? He went outside last lap, and this time he does not go for the move anywhere, and Winter is able to take a clean run through the first chicane. And through turn 3, he's got a 7/10 gap heading into the corner, so it looks like he's going to be able to survive this lap compared to lap 1. And yes, before the brake zone, he is a clear margin ahead of the Red Bull. And it seems like the danger zone is 7/10 for Max Verstappen to try and make a move on the Williams. As we head on to lap 25 now, almost halfway through the race, as Max almost goes onto the grass to try and overtake the Williams into turn 1. Does not look like he's got the speed at the moment to try and make a move, as Lando Norris battles with Charles Leclerc for the final podium place. And through turn 3, Max is too far back to try anything now, and he will have to wait. As we head on to lap 26, halfway through the race now, the gap is very close. Towards turn 1, Max has got a good run and is ahead into the braking zone, but backs out, heading slightly into the brake zone. Hits the apex, does Winter, gives him enough room for turn 2, and Max does not take it and has to settle for second place again for what seems like the 5th time now. I'm sure there's someone counting. As we head to turn 3, Winter does defend slightly, but it's good enough to stop Max overtaking. As we come to the radio message of Box by the Williams pit crew, and Williams will be boxing Winter for what I can only assume another set of inters. The rain does not seem to be going away anytime soon, and we'll have to see if Red Bull follow suit with Max, or whether they try and counter it by going 1 lap later and having a little bit extra tyre life for the second stint of the intermediates. Into the pit lane comes Bobbi none? And does Max follow? Yes, he does. Both of them coming into the pit lane. Winter, some could say cheekily, slowing down Max on purpose to make sure that Max does not get ahead of him through the pit lane. But with Charles, Charles Leclerc coming into the pit lane as well, it seems like Max is going to be held up, and he is, as Max is nowhere to be seen behind Winter as they exit the pit lane. And there he is, along with Sergio Perez, getting P4 into turn 1. And maybe Red Bull are going to deploy the Mexicans' defense to try and allow Max Verstappen to close in and take P1 in this race. It will be interesting to see what Red Bull do, as Max Verstappen is clear in the championship and does not necessarily have to win the race. Charles Leclerc, not at the moment anywhere near him. And lap 28, well, 27, Sergio Perez comes into the pits as Max Verstappen tries a move around the outside of turn 1, nothing doing there once again, and we'll have to try and he'll have to wait as Charles Leclerc takes the podium off of Lando Norris for now. George Russell will be upset after being P4 and is now P5 behind Lando and Charles. As we head towards lap 29, Max is even closer as we head towards turn 1, but before the brake zone the gap never decreases below a tenth, and Winter keeps the lead once again. And it looks like it's going to be a fairly easy victory if Bobbi can just maintain this defensive attitude. As we head towards turn 3, Max not quite trying to move. As we push forth to lap 32, is this going to be a lap where Max is close enough to make the move? No, not quite. Winter does make a late move towards the middle, but as soon as he realises that Max cannot close in enough, he heads back to the racing line. And then let's see, is Max close through turn 3? Does not look like it. There's still a little defence there from the Williams, but nothing doing there. Lap 33, maybe good luck for Max as it is his race number, but no move into turn 1, and this time the gap never going below a tenth and a half, I believe, as into the brake zone it was 2 tenths, as now Lando Norris is 2.5 seconds behind Charles Leclerc, and it looks like it's going to be an easy podium for Charles Leclerc. And Max would dearly love to extend his championship lead very heavily, and will hope for P1 to become his from Winter. As we head into lap 38 and follow on board with Schumacher, having a fairly decent race, within a second of his teammate who was up in the top 5 at the beginning of the race. Unfortunately, strategy and pace just slowing them down, and P11, P12 at the moment, with 8 seconds to the points, so it does look like Haas are not going to improve in the championship. And there's a yellow flag as Schumacher is dropping off the back of Magnussen, and it's going to be a second retirement in a row for the German. Yes, it is. Mick Schumacher retires from the Italian Grand Prix and brings a yellow flag, it looks like. I can't quite see the marshal holding a green flag, but no yellow in the proximity of Schumacher's car, as Lance Stroll, last remaining driver on the circuit, goes past Schumacher, and no yellow flags at the moment to try and clear away Schumacher's. Now the yellow flags are there as the leaders go past the incident zone. Surely Schumacher's car could cause a safety car at that angle. Someone just brakes or heads through the corner, loses the rear, and they could go crashing into They could go crashing into Schumacher trying to get out the car, but it's all safe and all good in the hood as we head to lap 29. Perez trying to chase down Sebastian Vettel, but it looks like his progress has halted as he is now slowing down, and is Sergio Perez going to be retiring from this race? It looks like he will be, as Daniel Ricciardo and Ocon and Hamilton all go past him, and this is now going to allow Kevin Magnussen back into the points and may be improving slightly in the championship. But Sergio Perez is out of this race and unfortunately will not be scoring any points on his championship rivals. And is this now going to cause a safety car? It does not look like there is any flags in the vicinity of Sergio's car, and are we going to get another situation where only the leaders get the marshal waved yellow flags? It seems to be so, as the leaders go past, and yes, the yellow flags only appear for the leaders. I'm sure the electronic boards though, that the marshal boards are displaying the yellow flags as per the regulation, and Checo will be safe to get out of his car, as there are quite a large gap between some of the drivers on the circuit at the moment. As we head to lap 41, Max Verstappen not really getting under a second, and doesn't get it close. Lap 44, Max Verstappen getting close to Winter, as Winter just seemingly loses a bunch of time at the end of lap 43, and Max into towards turn 1 has finally taken position, but it looks like Winter is going to dive down the inside of Verstappen into the first chicane. He gives him the room on the second part of the chicane. Max does not take it, does not have the speed to go around the inside of turn 2, but is he going to have the speed to go around the outside of turn 3 like lap 1? He's under 2 tenths. Is this going to be close enough? He's going to go to the outside, but with defense from the middle of the circuit, Winter maintains P1, and after a slight scare, he is going to keep P1 for now, as blue flags are coming out for Lance Stroll, and does not aid Verstappen in any way, shape or form. As we head to lap 53 now, the final lap, Max Verstappen is over a second behind Winter now, even 2 seconds at some points in the circuit, and it looks like it is going to be a fairly easy win for the Williams driver, even with Max's assaults on P1. Bobbi could not falter in this race. It has been quite flawless throughout this entire race. Maybe just one mistake from lap 43, not entirely sure what happened. It may have just been a slightly poor exit coming out with the second Lesmo, as the gap is usually over half a second there, but it doesn't matter what the gap was then, because the gap now is 2.3, and Bobbi takes the win in Italy to make it 3 races in a row with a win, and now this is surely going to boost his confidence into one of his worst circuits on the calendar, Singapore. Right, let me see if I can get close. Right. Start, I'm not entirely sure what happened with Max. He did seem to get a good start, but then it just didn't continue heading towards turn 1, so I was able to easily take the lead, keep the lead. I had to give him the space though into turn 1, because the AI are no strangers to a dive bomb midway through a corner. Turn 3 definitely caught me by surprise. I did not expect the AI to be so quick through there. So yeah, that was a shock. Second 2, I was always quicker than the AI, so I knew that I kind of just needed to get close and kind of hope for pit stop strategy to bring me ahead of Max, because I know you're not going to overtake someone in the wet. So it was quite lucky when Max decided to hand me P1 on lap 5 through Parabolica. Quite interestingly, he spun the car. I'm not entirely sure how. He just decided time to do a 360. He wanted to replicate what he did in Hungary in real life. Didn't quite work. You kind of need to win the race if you want to do that, Max. That's how you replicate something. You do the exact same or very similar to what you did before. Lap 25, I kind of realised that if I just deployed ERS enough and made sure Max didn't take the inside, I was always going to be ahead of him heading into turn 1. And even if he did get ahead, because I was on the inside, he would have no speed coming out of turn 2. Lap 43, I really do not know what I did wrong. I think I just messed up terribly in sector 2. I did almost fall in line behind Max then, but I knew it was kind of futile, and I could just redive him with the AI. Lifted early into turn 1 for whatever reason. And then my final lap. Fairly easy, to be honest. I don't know what radio said.
1 minute 28.2.
Fastest lap. Okay. I mean, that didn't really matter too much. I already had it.
Our best lap so far is a 1:28.2.
I think that was me checking if I had the first lap. Sorry, I'm just trying to sync up the video live, so I can hear what's going on with Mark. Yeah, I can.
And Verstappen's behind. Okay, the gap
Really?
behind is 1.5 seconds. They're on old intermediates. They've done 26 laps on those tyres. The time last lap was a 1 minute 29.2.
Sorry for hearing Mark twice. I just need to be able to hear what he's saying. Yeah, I was just checking the gap to Max. Obviously a final lap. Not entirely sure what went wrong with Max. He could have easily have won this race. Should have, really.
Oh, this is very nice.
Nice, it's very nice.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
Thank you, Mark. And thank you, Verstappen, for handing me the victory. You didn't need to, but I will gladly take it and
A
run.
nearly flawless performance here then, and a commanding victory. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
It's a heroic effort for any driver to race in conditions like these, and seeing them fight their way to the front was very special indeed. They were able to find all the grip, all the good lines, and have the confidence to get on the power to top it all off. That's what pushed them into first place here today.
No, Max's mistake did.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way onto the podium now.
I'm still pressing the button at the wrong time. My podium remote does not want to exist. I don't know why. I have got it selected. I don't think it allows you to have it not selected, so I don't know what's going on. Ever since you had to press a button to activate your celebration, it's just been stupid. The formation lap was alright, with the intermediates being very up to temperature already before the tyre blankets came off and the formation lap began. I, this time, however, could only manage the green slot. After saying I got confident in Netherlands, I panicked in the wet conditions and broke early into the grid slot. It did not impact my start though, as the lights went out, and before turn 1, Max went to fire lane behind me, but through turn 3 the AI have unbelievable grip and speed, and before turn 4, Max was alongside and ahead into P1 while Norris tried me as well, but I rejected that and he said alright and slotted in for P3. I knew that I'm not the best in wet conditions, so I settled for sitting behind Max and staying in P2 for now. Especially, I can not overtake with my straight line speed, a little extra downforce for wet weather, great in Sector 2, not so much in Sector 3 and worst in Sector 1. Skip to lap 5 though, Parabolica, cover Alperetto. Max just planted too much throttle and the pendulum in the wet meant he did a 360 spin and handed me P1 and landed P2. Spinning the first 90 slowly and then the next 270 went like a pendulum very quickly. However, Max got Lando by lap 10 and then started his charge for me. His first attack came on lap 19 when I strategically used my ERS on the main straight and through turn 3. I went to the middle and invited Max to the outside because I was not going to keep me one if he went inside. But by the apex, Max backed out completely and I was fully in the lead again. But through turn 3 I went to the middle and had to force Max to the outside to still keep P1, and I did, heading into the second chicane. Next up, lap 20, I did the same as lap 19, but I had a bigger gap, so the defence was not needed as much. But into lap 25, the defence was very much needed, and in turn 1, Max took again the outside, but no overlap. Through turn 3, he was not close, and I kept P1. Lap 26, Max this time got an overlap on the outside, and into turn 2, I gave him the space. And to turn 4, I stuck to the diagonal line from the middle to the outside, and halted Max's progress for now. Especially when we pitted at the end of the lap with a great pit stop and release, I came out with a bigger gap to Max from entering the lane. With my cautious entry. Lap 28, Max was close but not close enough, and he could not even try the overtake. Lap 29, I defended, but as I should have found out already, it was not needed at all. Lap 32 brought Max's next attack, which I did not even properly defend, to the middle this time, and I knew Max is not the threat this race. The engine wear and my great ability to make a mistake was though. Lap 33, Max was close for defence, but before the markers, I was already back on the racing line. Lap 38, Mick had another problem, and ending Sector 2, Sector 1, the engine went no, and he pulled over before the second chicane. But this time, no safety car, not even a yellow flag until I came across the Marshall sector on my lap 39. Red Bull tried for a safety car by retiring Perez on lap 39. Only 30 seconds after game kicked me off Mick's retired car from the replay. Unfortunately for Red Bull, it was too late, and I kept my 1 second gap to Verstappen, although it would not actually matter too much. Once again, yellow flags only appearing for me as I passed him, not the AI cars. Next, Max attack came on lap 44 when somehow I lost a bunch of time at the end of lap 43 and across the line. He was 4 tenths closer passing the line compared to when he attacked previously. This meant he finally got past me into the brake zone, and I did think of slotting behind him, but then I changed plans with the AI lifting early into braking, and I was able to pull alongside and completed the re-overtake through the first chicane, and Max had no chance through turn 3. Lap 53, and I had no competition in the last 9 laps. I am seemingly tired. Therefore, relying on the wet setup meant I had complete control over Sector 2, and so I could easily create a gap I needed for the first sector. Midway through the race, I realised I needed to swap the ERS straights from the run to Ascari to the run into Parabolica. So Max was within a second in Ascari, lost time with less downforce and minimal gain on the straight, and massive time losses through Parabolica. So when it worked, I had the smallest gaps of 0.5 to 0.6 seconds, so I did not have to worry at all for Max overtaking me. And when he did, the AI lost quite a bit of time in the braking zone, so I could easily get him back. Then with the AI's turn 3, I bought my own speed with ERS as early as I could, exiting turn 2, so I also never had to worry about defending for turn 4 and turn 5, as that chicane is a nightmare for battling. You have to be on the inside, else you cannot get space from the AI.